What's cooking, everybody? Anthony Sevens back again for another product review. And today we're going to be talking about the Rubies Costuming Company 2021 Tusken Raider latex mask. Let's rock and roll.
Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5,
All right, so for those of you who have followed my work here on YouTube over the years, I mean, you clearly know that I have a love-hate relationship with virtually anything that Rubies has put out over the past so many decades. They've been making Halloween masks and helmets and things since like the dawn of man, you know, since I want to say since maybe the late 70s or maybe since the 80s or 1990s. But the problem with Rubies Costuming Company, and I never mean to talk shit, it's just from personal experience, okay, is that it's always a 50-50. It's a hit or miss. Either they're going to put out something that's a complete piece of crap, or they're going to put out something that you go like, wow, this is kind of impressive. And in this case, when it comes to the latex Star Wars Tusken Raider mask, I'm kind of impressed by this, and here's why. Rubies has been doing latex masks specifically for Star Wars for the past decade, maybe even longer at this point in time. Maybe I want to say more closer to 20 years, 25 years. I mean, basically, if you've ever owned a rubber mask from a Star Wars film that's fairly inexpensive, chances are Rubies was the company that made that mask. And, you know, the unfortunate truth is that a lot of their latex masks of old were just very poor quality, very cheaply used materials, a very thin type of latex, and they come creased or warped, and they're very hard to get back into shape, or even they deteriorate over time. You know, and I've had things such as, but not limited to, Rubies rubber Yoda mask and Darth Maul masks, and I had a Plo Koon mask once that was so terrible that I had to throw it in the garbage because it was just so creased and helpless. It got to a point of fuck it, and I threw it in the garbage. You know, so that's an example of some of the lower end things that Rubies produced over the years. Now, more impressive things, I used to have the Imperial Royal Guard from Return of the Jedi. I used to have the Ultimate Edition helmet of that. And, you know, that was also produced by Rubies, and that was like a holy shit, this is really super cool type of helmet. Even dare I say their Ultimate Darth Vader helmet was pretty damn impressive in comparison to the lower end crap that they have put out over the years. Well, now in 2021, it's kind of like Rubies rethought their formula of making latex masks, and what they did is they combined a sort of clay with latex and came out with these. It's a small series of Star Wars masks that includes the Tusken Raider, the Emperor, Darth Maul, I think Bosk, I think Figrin Dan, but because of the new materials they're using, we're getting a much, much better quality of latex mask out of Rubies. I mean, this thing is so thick. I mean, you would think that there's a mannequin head in here that I'm showing this off to you on, right? Because it's a very sturdy sculpt. It's empty. This is the material. It's that thick of material that it holds up on its own. And this is straight out of the box, no creases, no folds, no dents, and right onto a mask display. For a Rubies latex mask product, this is holy shit impressive to me. This is really after all of these years, you're finally doing this with your Star Wars masks? You couldn't have come up with this formula any sooner? you know, when we were all, you know, fanboying out years and years ago, you know, and we were collecting, you know, Rubies masks. I mean, Rubies was so terrible that we were forced to turn to other independent companies and pay sometimes a couple $100 just to get a quality Star Wars latex mask. And now it seems that Rubies is back into the game again, full force. And let me tell you, if they continue making latex masks just like this, with this much thicker material, okay, Rubies Costuming Company is going to be in a very, very good standing position when it comes to fans and collectors alike. Now, granted, for those who really enjoy Tusken Raiders, and if you know the actual props of the movies, Tusken Raiders are mostly made of cloth and metal pieces. This is all just one solid latex, you know, one sculpt, one piece. There's no metal, no fabric involved on this. And for being that it is not cloth or metal, that's pretty damn impressive. That's pretty damn impressive. Now you might be asking, well, what is the price for such sheer delights? These masks for this particular series in 2021 retailed at about $50, which is about average for a decent latex mask these days. I mean, if you were to go shopping per se at, let's say, Trick or Treat Studios, which produces magnificent latex masks, you know, you're paying anywhere between $65 to $75 to sometimes closer to the $100 range, depending on the size and the quality and the materials being used. So $50 for a latex mask is not ridiculous. And at the same point, if I'm paying $50 for a latex mask, it better have, at the very least, a quality like this involved. And yeah, impressed, super duper impressed. Let's give you a little bit closer look here. Now, it's also important to know too that I have seen some people who have done reviews on these masks, or I've read reviews as well. And some people said that, because it comes in a box, it's not just one of those, you know, hung up on a rack, it actually comes in a protective box. I've heard stories about people getting these masks, and they are in fact a little dented or creased or misshapen. But I would assume, because, you know, firsthand with my hands on this mask and seeing the thickness and the quality of this mask, that finding masks like this that are going to come to you creased and damaged is going to be a rare occasion. I mean, in order to really crease something like this, it's got to be in an extreme amount of heat with something pressing on it, folded or crushed for an extensive period of time. Because this is, I mean, look how sturdy that is. I mean, you can sit there and hold it crushed, right? And you just put your hand in it and shake it all about like the hokey pokey, and you know, your mask is back into shape. And again, for a Rubies product, this is highly, highly impressive. So congratulations to Rubies, man. You finally came out, you finally cracked the code and came out with some cool ass shit that I'm actually proud to own and hang in my collection of stuff. I mean, dare I say that, you know, how Hasbro has reinvented Star Wars helmets with their Black Series collection, you know, this kind of quality actually is quite a bit closer to what Hasbro is doing with helmets and what Rubies is doing with masks. Everything is tending to match up nowadays as far as, you know, collecting Star Wars masks and helmet replicas are concerned. So yeah, very impressed by this. Now, I cannot speak for the other sculpts of, like, say, Darth Maul or the Emperor or all the other newer Star Wars masks that are out there, as I do not have them in my possession. This is strictly just a review on the Tusken Raider, but if the other masks are anything like this Tusken Raider sculpt, you know, it's definitely something that I would consider looking into for sure, you know, because this is by far the best quality latex mask that Rubies has ever produced, Star Wars or otherwise. Star Wars or otherwise. Good job, Rubies. But As far as kids versus adults, this is definitely something that adults or kids can own and collect. Again, it's so thick and so sturdy of material, there's not going to be a whole ton of damage done to this. Just like any other latex mask that's out there, keep it in a cool, dry place. I have it hanging in my basement with the rest of my collection. So, this is not, I really truly feel that this is a latex mask that is not going to get easily damaged anytime soon unless you come at it with a knife or some scissors, or again, you're putting it out in extreme amounts of heat to where it is going to get a little misshapen or melt or droop or whatever. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Rubies 2021 Tusken Raider clay and latex mask. Excellent work. Until we meet again, take care of yourself and take care of each other.